So let's start it in Pasuk Yud Daled. Okay? V'im lo tishmuli. Okay? So there's a lack of hearing. V'lo sasu. Right? So first of all, you didn't learn, which means that, of course, that I don't think the word lo tishmuli doesn't mean you didn't learn. I think it means that you learned and didn't hear. Right? In other words, you what Chazal call a melin b'Torah. You didn't find me in the Torah. You had your own agenda. Okay? Below saso, and therefore, es kol ha-mitzvos ha'eleh. So first of all, you don't do the mitzvos. Second shlav is the im b'chukosai tim asu. This is the third shlav, actually. And not only that, when you see other people doing it, you get disgusted by it. V'mes mishpatai tigal nafshechem. So what does mishpatai mean? So Chazal say it doesn't necessarily mean mishpat means things that are understood, b'yachas to chukim, things that are not understood. But mishpatai in this context means chachamim, because they have a whole system of how to define the halacha, right? Which is quite common nowadays. People hate chachamim; they hate the whole system because they don't believe in it, right? And therefore, levilti asos kol mitzvosai. So we're already talking about people who didn't do the mitzvos. So what does it mean levilti asos kol mitzvosai? So Chazal say it means levilti asos. You don't even let other people do it, like we had in the beginning of the country where they tried to make the Yaldei Teiman not do mitzvos. Lahafrechem es brisi, that we don't want a relationship with Hashem. Okay, I don't want to be connected. Okay, so these are the 7 problems, right? So what do we have? The first one.
You don't listen.
Right. Didn't do. Mo'es ba'acherim, soneh, and we say it means chachamim, prevent other people, and not want the whole relationship. Okay, so now what we're trying to figure out is how does what's going to happen next teach you and cause this yes to happen, right? It's going to be mita connected mita.
Right.
So let's see how it works. Afani esezos lechem. That's what these words mean. Afani esezos lechem. What is zos? Whatever you did, I'll do. Right? If the mita you put out is that, then I will treat you like that. Pifkada dialechem behala, eta shachafas v'sakadachas, machlos einayim divas nafesh, v'zraktim l'richach zarachem v'chlo oveichem. Right? So how many things is this? V'nasati panay b'chem, v'nifkavti b'fnei rechem, v'ro wadu kol b'chem b'sonechem, v'nastem ein rodef. So right? So what does that says? Chazal say that there's 5 here. So there should be 7 different things in these connected to 7 different issues that they had. That would make sense. So what is Bahala?
Like confusion?
I think it means more than that. I think it means charada. Also, maybe it means confusion. Maybe it means confusion.
Like it's confusion that comes like with a lot of like things happening and.
Right. Okay, so how does that work? We'll assume the way the Torah is structured. That makes a lot of sense. That has to do with the lo tishmuli, right?
Right.
So, how does Bahala mita kedeg mita v'lo tishmuli?
Hearing too many screams.
What do you say?
Be hearing too many screams.
What does that mean?
Like, there's too much screaming from everybody having panic attacks and shit.
So a Bahala means that he didn't have clarity of thought, right?
Right.
So, if a person is not omel, right, then what's happening is they're just taking things at face value, and they're not really. It's like that they are superficial, right? Superficial and not really invested and not really caring. Okay, so what really is a state of confusion, because you put yourself in a situation where you're not really invested in the main thing, so you're basically confused by the whole process. So you're acting like you're completely, totally, you got it all worked out, and this is what it is, right? But you're really acting from a place of confusion because you haven't really worked it out yet. It's still not clear, and you're pretending that it's clear. So when people act in a way they're not clear, then that's the midah they put inside themselves. In order for that person in Bahala to actually feel safe and good, they have to put a lot of effort into organizing everything and saying, okay, this is it, this is this, is this. Okay, now I see the truth. So it's forcing them to have a midah of really going into stuff and settling it with and really getting it. And that will replace the way they lived before. It's like, yeah, chaplap, okay, whatever it is. And that situation, they're not really trying to get clarity. Make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see hala. Shachafas v'kadachas machles anai medivas nafesh. What do these things mean? Shachafas, Rashi says, it means choli shemashchif et abasar. Dome lenafuach shehuklu nefichaso umaras panav zuufa. Right? So it looks like the napuach, that is the, what do you call it? The
expansion.
Just 1 second. Right. So if you have basar, that is blown up as a burn, right? What it does is it doesn't look like the rest of the skin.
Right.
Right? Just turn that off.
Such a zen brain.
Yeah. 2.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ali.
And machles einayim medivas nafesh means that einayim tzofos v'kalos liros yekal rapeh. He's waiting for the refuah to happen. V'sofo yirapeh. V'yivenu hanafashos shal mishpachos b'moso. Right, and then people will end up. It starts off as a thing, and he's also like, well, when is it going to get better? When is it going to get better? End up having no solution. Right. At the end of the day, people are sad because the person died. Okay, so we have a machala, which is difficult, and at the end of the day, people are wondering when it's going to get better, and then doesn't, it ends up bad. Okay, that's the issue. Okay, so does that have to do with lo sasu kol mitzvosai? Let's see if the number is right. First of all, 3, 4, 5. No. I have to figure out how to count these, because obviously the reason Hashem is telling you this miduyak is He wants you to understand the relationship between the two things. So let's start from the back. Rodo kol bachem sonechem and nastem eid rodef etzchem. So that's probably two things.
I struggle with being scared.
Everybody does. Why? Because to some degree, and it gets exacerbated by certain experiences in life, but the whole life is about having bitachon. That's what we're here for, because the ultimate bitachon is if you know that you're being watched and cared for and loved and protected. Otherwise, you can always think dangerous. There's many different ways to have your life be destroyed in this world. So ultimately, we're all going to be in a state of fear until we're able to feel the committed relationship on the other side, on Hashem's side. having experiences of trauma in this world don't help, because then it seems and feels like it's not safe. Right? So, inherently, the way to get safe is to process the traumas, know that they're not real, experience them, they're not a simon of your entire life, and then develop a relationship of consciousness where you feel held and you feel like Hashem is caring and loving and watching you. Which is why the most deepest connection with Hashem doesn't come from learning, it doesn't come from prayer, it comes from the fact that you have food. And you relate it back to Him. And you have clothing, relate it back to Him. Yep. Then you have a safety. The same way the beginning of a marriage is a ksuba. Right? The place the woman feels safe with her husband is if he's committed to her basic needs. Right. And if he's committed to giving her fun and incredible intimacy and all kinds of great things, but he's not committed to her eating breakfast, then she won't feel safe.
Right.
But why did you mention that now? Because you're talking about Bahala?
Like the whole concept of this pasha is about, like, you know, if you don't do this, bad things will happen. I really cannot connect to this concept.
Okay, so again, what we're trying to say is there's a natural derivative that happens because of this action creates this action. In other words, it's not that Hashem is, I'm going to do this, and therefore you did this, I'm going to punish you. It's that you set the relationship. I'm happy to be here wherever you want me. I want to be connected to you. If you don't want me there, then I won't be there.
Right.
Okay, so we push him out. Now, the chiddush over here is that when we push him out, when we don't do what the relationship expected is, we actually push him out. So if you can imagine a world where Hashem is not in the world, things happen because good of the world is Him, and when He is out, that allows for an entire space of bad to exist. Right? It's similar to say, let's say, you have an army which is occupying a country, or police, right? And they're good law and order, and people are safe and sound, and they pull it all out. So what do you think is going to happen? Right? You're going to have pandemonium. Right? So Hashem's presence in the world brings shefa, it brings shmira, it brings all kinds of good stuff. And if you kick Him out, you're going to lose Him. So what we're trying to see is, how does this action, the midah that is kicking out of this action, why is it represented and taught and encouraged to be different through this yisur?
Right.
And that'll give you an impression, a feeling, I think, of that the Yisurim are not like this scary, punishment type of thing. They're just a way to teach you. Because when you get the point, like, why is this happening? Not, what did I do wrong? That's a very superficial way of saying it. What did I do wrong? How my life actually draws this energy towards me. Because I'm holding myself this way, this is what naturally happens. And when naturally this happens, what it does is it changes me that it shouldn't happen, because no one is willing to stay in Yisurim, right? Whether consciously or subconsciously. So when Yisurim come, it pushes you somewhere, wherever it's, and what it pushes you towards is that whatever in you caused this to happen, allows it to happen, draws it to happen, will be pushed to disappear, right? Let's say, for example, on a simple level, a person has not careful what they eat, right? And the Yisurim are, they have a disease now, chas v'shalom, right? So they're going to be, by definition, be pushed towards watching what they eat, because otherwise the machla is going to kill them, right?
Yeah.
So the midah was, you eat whatever you want. The Yisurim is mechayev, that a person now fixes that and is careful what they eat. That's already a tikkun. Okay, so if you're not hearing things, you're not careful of what you're listening to, right? And you're not really get invested in figuring out what's going on, then you'll have a situation in which you actually can't figure out what's going on until you will work hard. And to encourage that midah of looking beyond things, wait, is this really scary? is this really such a problem? Wait, it's not enough problems. You learn the meat of investment and clarity that you can apply it in every single way. Okay? So, what I would like to see, if there's a parallel between each thing.
Oh, coffee.
When I want to sleep.
Do you wanna
I like a drink of water.
settle for coffee instead?
No, I don't drink
Water?
coffee. Water would be great though.